Donald Trump has taken a step no president has taken before. He removed the Secret Service protection from Kamala Harris, a former vice president and one of the most recognized politicians in America. And he did it just as she was about to step into the spotlight yet again. Harris is beginning a major book tour, traveling to crowded cities and public venues. And she will now be doing that without the nation's top security force by her side. The move has left many stunned and asking, what does this mean for her safety? People are asking three big questions. Why did Trump do this now? What exactly did Harris lose when her detail was pulled? And how much risk does this create as she begins months of non-stop public events? To answer those, we need to walk step by step through what the law says, what the Secret Service actually does, the timing of this order, and the larger pattern we're starting to see. At first glance, this might sound like Harris just lost a couple of bodyguards, but it's actually much bigger than that. The Secret Service isn't just the people standing close by. It's a whole system of defense. It's advanced teams who arrive days before to sweep locations. It's analysts scanning threats online. It's specialists planning safe travel routes. And it's 24-hour monitoring of her home. All that disappeared overnight, which raises the question, why now? By law, former vice presidents get 6 months of protection after leaving office. For Harris, that ended in July 2025. But Joe Biden extended her coverage into early 2026 because the risks around her were still high. That extension fit the pattern of how things are usually done. Once someone has served at the top, their profile stays large, and so does their risk. But Trump ended it. On September 1st, 2025, the order went into effect. On paper, it was legal, but in practice, it broke with recent precedent, and it stripped away protection exactly when her visibility was about to surge. Think about what that protection really provided. The Secret Service scouted every venue, checking doors, angles, and sightlines. They built escape routes and emergency plans. They worked with local police so everyone knew how to respond if a threat appeared. Behind the scenes, analysts tracked chatter, followed tips, and flagged people who might pose a danger before they ever got close. At home, it was more than just a few cameras. Her residence was essentially a secure zone. Checkpoints controlled access. Agents rotated shifts so the perimeter was never uncovered, and surveillance systems flagged unusual movement right away. If a car lingered too long or someone unfamiliar stood outside, alarms went off and agents were already moving. That vigilance made her house one of the hardest places to approach. When the detail was pulled, those walls fell away. Her home became like any other property in Los Angeles. Neighbors and delivery drivers could pass without notice, but so could people with darker intentions. Without federal monitoring, someone could watch her routines, wait for an opening, and move closer than ever before. In today's world, where threats often begin online and spill into real life, losing that layer is not just a downgrade, it's exposure. The place that should have been her refuge is now her most vulnerable point. Private security cannot match this. They can place guards at a gate, but they cannot tap into federal databases or get live intelligence. They can react when something happens, but they cannot prevent danger in the same way. And the date matters. Harris's new memoir, 107 Days, launches on September 23rd. She has a 15-city tour lined up with stops across the country and overseas. These will be packed theaters, busy airports, crowded streets. The order ended her protection just 3 weeks before the tour began. That left very little time to scramble together a private replacement. So that means gaps are likely, and every gap is a potential opening. This is where many people paused. Was this a coincidence? Or was the timing meant to have an impact right as she steps back into public spotlight? And this decision doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of a much bigger story unfolding. On day one back in the White House, Trump made it clear, nothing Biden put in place would stand without his approval. Within hours, he rescinded dozens of Biden-era executive actions, sweeping away policies on climate, education, diversity, and more. And he didn't stop there. Biden had pushed support for renewable energy projects and tax credits for clean energy developers. Trump dismantled those programs, halted wind farm approvals, and pulled back incentives that fueled years of investment. On immigration, the shift was just as dramatic. Biden had expanded resettlement programs and strengthened pathways for new Americans. Trump reversed those moves, restricting refugee admissions and shutting the door on Biden's approach to migration. Even in areas like cybersecurity, Biden had ordered stricter standards for federal agencies. Trump rolled those back as well, removing requirements and cutting funding that had been set up to modernize defenses. This is not a one-off pattern. From immigration to climate to security, almost every major Biden objective is being undone. So when Trump revoked Harris's protection, it was not just about one detail. It was a statement. If Biden put it in place, Trump will take it apart, and that raises a troubling question. If protection itself is treated as just another order to reverse, what does that mean for the standard of safety for future leaders? Trump's decision may have been legal, but legal doesn't mean safe. At best, it was careless. At worst, it was intentional.